it is for them to actually come here and make sure the expected mission ahead of them is executed without any issues. But the refreshing information coming from the Director of Communication of the party is that the two former presidents are likely to be seen here, not in person, but via a Zoom feed. And so delegates will be coming here. We'll still have some kind of, speeches coming from these two key persons that were originally expected to be here. But for the sake of our travels, they are not here.
All right. Thank you very much, Akwesi. We're talking about, or Sanda, you were talking about your issue with the voice vote. But you know, in other jurisdictions, and I don't know if it can be implemented here going forward. I think I remember during the U.S. elections, you know, so Idaho will pick the yes, we agree. Philadelphia, yes, we agree, or no, we do not agree. I don't know if that can be incorporated here in Ghana going forward.
So you see that one, so there are a number of delegates representing estates, and typically they would agree on how many people are voting for or against. The majority then represents the state, and so if there are, say, 23 delegates from Idaho, and 14 of them voted to say we agree with a certain policy or person, then it becomes a policy of the state. And so it's the same thing that happens with their elections. So that when you hear that the Electoral College vote has given so many to a presidential candidate, it is because if the Electoral College has 13 votes and that state in the popular vote has given so many votes to a candidate, then you can say that, yes, that whole state has given all of its votes to that person. In this particular instance, you have 6,000 people. So I'm saying that we have been told that by the people who understand how these things work, that a lot of the groundwork would have been done. So it is not at that stadium today that you are going to come and object to a motion that has been brought to you. So if there's going to be an objection, the objection would have already been tabled and there would have been a counter proposal that would come before already. That we are told would have been dealt with already. So today is just a mere formality. The Constitution says you have to put it to conference, and so you must go to conference. I was saying that even in Parliament, we see that and no, and a lot of the times for me, I think that maybe the yes have it, but the no's get it, or the no-nos have it and the yes get it. So that happens, and I expect that again to happen today. And if you get to that, you'll notice when the secretary or the chairman comes to read the motions, or even the director of legal comes to read the motions and say as many, and they are going to be 50. I mean, by the time you reach 20, people would have lost concentration. People would have forgotten. There would be less interest and so on. And people are possibly thinking of, Charlie, the journey back home to Wadi is far. I mean, and all of these things could be happening. So we cannot truly say we have had a proper representation. But then again, if you have a challenge with a motion, I think there's a way you can challenge. Because even in Parliament, if you think that the Speaker's voice vote decision is wrong, you can challenge, and then you go through what they call the division, and then they'll count the people. So I do not think it's going to be thorny. So far, I think the most controversial one would have been the bottom-up or top-bottom thing, but that's not going to be a motion today. So that would have been the most contentious thing.
Conference
yeah, so the super delegates thing, I have always been against super delegates. I think it's a waste of time. I think it's a complete waste of time, and I'm happy.
Yeah, but the idea behind that, and I'm not even trying to defend it or, you know, but they sought to make the point that if you look at the way the 2007 election became acrimonious, which many in the party believed at the time led to their defeat in 2008, even after the first round win, there's a need to whittle down the number to a number that can be, you know, better managed so as to be able to forge unity after. Masa, you don't agree?
Masa, it's a democratic party. The NPP prides itself as a democratic party. If 1 million people want to be flag bearer, let them be one. The ballot paper, we just print 5 pages of ballot papers and let people go and vote. This idea that there should be a privileged few people who decide for the larger number, I do not think it's proper.
I think it takes the surprise element out, and then it becomes predictable as to who is a favorite or who's likely to win
an election. I know that my base is the base of the party, but for the high people, the Pechebe people, they don't like me because of my behavior.
Yeah.
If I go to the election, yes, and you say that I have to go to special for them to decide my fate.
You know, I don't think it's proper. The idea behind it is that for you to be a well-rounded and accepted candidate for the party, you should be able to appeal to every base of the party. And mind you, the super delegates have, you know, some constituency executives, you know, also in there.
Donald
so
Trump doesn't appeal to the. He didn't appeal to the GOP, which is like the core leadership of the Republicans when he came in 2016. They all had their choices. I mean, they were looking at proper guys. I mean, people who were proper politicians. The Bushes, the Jeb Bushes, and all those people. They were looking at them.
Mitt Romney.
But this guy decided, no, me, I'm a base guy. And the base liked him. But the top of the executive didn't like him. Imagine if they had to go through a super delegate. Trump would have lost. Yeah. But he has won them 2 elections. And for political parties, and when I was a student of government being taught by Mr. Ban at my secondary school, we were told that
you remember your teachers.
We were told that the best or the main function or the main object of a political party is to win election. Forget everything else. Have a political party, when they set you up, your core function is to win an election. Is to win an election. So if you go into an election and he wins it for you 2 times, whether the GOP at the top level like him or the base.
No mean a candidate against Dan Hillary Clinton, who many are described as the most prepared candidate ever.
He has beaten all those people. So I'm saying that if I think the super delegate thing is wrong, let everybody decide who the leader of the party would be.
At the end of the day, it's still generating income for internal money for the party.
We are seeing expansion. If you are asking that everybody should be involved, you shouldn't then go and select a few people and decide that these people will finally decide for us. There were 11 people. Then you whittle it down to 5. How?
So it flies in the face of inclusion for a modern democratic party.
I think it's wrong. And we saw Alan Chemanti leave the party, and we saw Boache Ejaku have a challenge with the super delegates conference.
Where he pulled out.
He didn't leave the party because of the super delegates conference. He left because he felt that the party was scheming against his candidature.
But what was his view? His view was that, so who is the party? The party now becomes a super delegate. The base of the party has made a decision. He has gone through already. And now there's a select group of people who are going to decide. And he thinks that it's not going to work in his favor. Ejaku has a similar issue. I'm saying that let every card-bearing member of the party vote.
Be able to decide
for both NDC and NPP. So that if you are popular with the base of the party, you are popular in the party. But it cannot be the case that you there, for the special people, they like me, but the other people, they don't like me. How does that even work? It doesn't work for me. It's like, maybe they can have the delegates, super delegates coming before the mass party. So that the super delegates would, then that is also
segregating for whoever to decide.
If there are 10 people who want to go, allow them, fill their form, pay them money. Because internally, they need money to run the party, do they not?
Managing a political party, I get the sense that can be a very strenuous job, right? And to select who leads a party as huge as the NPP, but that's, I'm sure, a debate for another day.
As for the super delegates in there, today, if I go to the stadium and they say,
you vote some.
I mean, throw it away.
You're not a delegate.
But voice vote, they won't
know.
Everybody can
do. Someone will zoom into you and say, there is Sanda join in the
vote. Officers there. I'm sure
they can all shout. And it will all add up to the voice. So that for me is a difficulty.
It's a flaw in the process.
Yeah, and I'm happy that they're going to remove it. Another critical thing that they are introducing, which I find very exciting, the focus on PWDs.
Yeah.
I mean, the NPP has been deliberate about a lot of things. So they have the Zongo caucus. They focus on that specially. When Akufo-Addo was elected president, he decided to create a ministry for Zongo development and inner citizen Zongo development. It's a deliberate thing. So we have the Nasara. I mean, these are things that you focus on because don't forget, the NDC has a hold of the Zongo or the Muslim communities already. So you have to be deliberate about penetrating that, and they appear to have tried. Not very successful though, because the Zongo thing didn't really do much, and the votes didn't translate much again. Now, if they want to now focus on PWDs, I think it's important, and they are doing it from the base all the way to the top. It is crucial and worth commending, and I think it's something that we should celebrate. The thing about the 35 and below, I don't know what the idea is, but I think in deciding who a youth is, there are a lot of benchmarks. And I remember when our current Minister for Youth Development went to Parliament for vetting, there was a whole debate and haggle over who a youth is, and he gave us various definitions of the ILO and all those people, how their definitions would be, the UN and all of those people. I don't know if the party has made that consideration. And again, it means that if you are above 35, you cannot be a youth organizer of the New Patriotic Party, the National Party. How much experience can you have?
At age 35?
Yes, at age 35. I think you need experience. You can have a person who is a little older, who is managing the youth affairs. It does not necessarily have to be a young person. Of course, we are seeing a shift towards younger people. John Mahama has done that by putting a lot of young people in his government, showing us the way that it's possible here. But is it possible yet? No. Until the end of the 4 years that we can decide whether Mahama's gamble was good. Rawlings did that. It worked for him. He had younger people in his government. Those people have been celebrated, and perhaps we say that they are one of the best crops of ministers we've ever had. So I think it's something, I don't know how much thinking went into it, but it's okay. The generality of the conference that they are going to have today, and I'm saying that the first time I covered an NPP conference like this was in 2009. At the time, I was an intern with Sena Radio in Ashaiman. I was at the Ghana Institute of Journalism, and they did it at the La Trade Fair. And it was to rebuild and recapture. That was their motto at the time, the 3 R's. They are reflecting, rebuilding, and recapturing. 2009. This was after Akufo-Addo narrowly lost to Professor Mills at the time in the general election, and the party had met. There was a lot of excitement. That was a time that this whole thing about all die be die was coming up. And so they decided to reflect and rebuild. We have seen the MDC do a similar thing when they went into opposition. They also went through some processes to build their base. Even after 2012, we saw the NPP do the Rise and Build, which was mocked by the NDC to say it was a rice and bean store. Nana Akufo-Addo doing all of that. You must always reflect as a human being, and the political party is also a person, it's a legal person, right? You should always reflect on things that have happened to you. For you to go into an election as a governing party, and for you to lose by so much, about 2 million people voting to say, extra voting to say, we don't want your candidate, the defeat against Dr. Bawumia. And as if that's not enough, to annihilate the party in parliament, so that today, the NPP is even less than a micro-minority, to be very, very frank with you. Because, look, NDC in parliament can do anything they want. We have a constitutional dictatorship given them now. A one-party state, de facto, has been given them constitutionally, even though the constitution says parliament shall not make a law that makes Ghana a one-party state. What we have seen today
is not the Jew.
What we have seen today is that Ghanaians, not parliament, have made a law that has made the NDC a one-party state.
Through their thumb.
Through their thumb. 189 MPs versus 87.
And now there's one hanging, we are not even sure.
So maybe 86. Honestly, NDC can run a 24-hour economy in parliament. Out of the 189, they can do 80 in the morning, 80 in the afternoon. They can do 60, 60, 60.
Well, they will still form quorum.
They keep staging workouts.
Yeah, they can. And you see, I think the whole thing of the staging of the workout, I think the NPP hasn't read the mood. They haven't read the mood of the nation. They haven't read the room. The defeat that they suffered in 2024.
Yeah.
Look, there are times, you remember when Sam George said we should wake up at 3 a.m. and shout, hey. There are times I just wake up and like, hey. Look, when we sat here to announce the defeat of the election of the NPP in December, some of the seats that went green from blue, it was like every NPP MP I knew had lost the election.
Yeah.
Katie Hammond lost the election in Ashanti region.
For 24 years, it's always been NPP.
That's Ablikuma South.
Okakwe South.
Okakwe South, yes. There's a colleague of mine in law school who called me in the evening, around when do they close polls? 5. He called me before around 6, and we speak Ghana. So he said, Chalimini, I said, oh, we're on your TV, and we asked, like, what's happening? I said, we are on reporting. Then he said to me that something has happened. I said, what? He said, staunch NPP guy. He said, they have just lost their polling station. NPP has lost their polling station. and that it has never happened
before.
So he's scared. And I said yes. And by that time, Bernard has started working on some polling stations that if the NPP lost, it was going to be a bloodbath, which is what he talked about. And so he told me that polling station had been lost, and then it signaled a defeat. And we are told that as early as 10 p.m., the NPP had seen that they have lost the election. And the defeat was so massive that Ghanaians have essentially said, for you, NPP, you are condemned.
They are down with you.
You should not be doing this stage protest, go and sit at Yoko and be shouting. I think they have not read the mood, and it's really a big problem. When you hear some of the things they engage in, look at the thing Reverend Tim Forjo said about some cocaine bust or something. Turns into tomatoes in their face. Every now and then some allegation is being made here. Wait, allow the people. There's something called goodwill. Even this 1 cedi tax that they are complaining about, nobody is minding you. Because if you gave me petrol at 17 cedis per liter, and this guy comes, and whether through his own working or God decided to be faint, whatever happened, the thing has come down to 10 cedis. And he has said that he wants to add 1 cedi to make it 11 cedis. You, who gave it to me at 17, is complaining that 11 cedis is harsh. Are you for real? Keep quiet. I'm saying that it's not everything you need to react to. And Mahama decides that I am scrapping fuel levy, not fuel levy, the petrol for the people.
For allowance.
For allowance. I am not going to let the people use petrol. That one to NPP, you can't be shouting.
Why? What they are calling for is clearer accountability.
Stop. Look, I'm saying that give yourself time. You have to heal yourself as a party.
Yeah,
the thing they are doing at the stadium is what they should focus on.
In the quest to see the nation succeed, it's important that an opposition, regardless of its strength or might, is seen to be still a very viable force in calling for prudence, because, of course, like I said, it's now a free-for-all. The Ghanaians, through their term, have given you a very huge mandate. But there should be some checks and balances, Jude, right?
Every evening, I host a radio program for 90 minutes, and I receive messages from people. Some of them are political, I know, but there are some who are genuine. A lot of the times when I'm interviewing NPP people and they are giving some brilliant ideas, the questions that keep coming through is that, when did this guy have this sense? When did these guys think that this is possible?
Yeah.
These are things that you could have done, you have not done.
Yeah.
In 8 years. Yeah. Someone is doing it and all of a sudden you are there screaming.
But the realities of managing a country when you're in government is very different from when you're in opposition.
Jude.
The considerations a government would have to make in power is way different.
I am not saying that they should not hold the government accountable, but I'm saying that they should decide what to hold the government accountable for. There's something called goodwill. You can't do anything about it. When the people give it to you, right now, Mahama is enjoying goodwill. Today, if Mahama can stand at Independence Square and say, everybody sleep at 4 p.m., it's almost like it's like the cool days. People will go and sleep.
You know when I sensed that the goodwill had peaked? So when the Ablekuma North rerun happened and the violence occurred there, in the aftermath of it, everybody's pointing accusing fingers to the police. For some reason, it's no longer Mahama.
Yesterday,
and I'm like...
2 days ago, I saw Eslausu Ekufo. She used to be a powerful... She's in retirement. Sorry, she's home. She lost Ablekuma West. Good morning, mommy. I saw her write on Facebook that, where is WILDAF? Where is all these women organizations when Hawa Kumsi was attacked? I saw women groups attack her back and say that for 8 years, where were these people? So, the goodwill thing, Akufo-Addo had it in 2017. You could even say that Akufo-Addo had more goodwill in 2017 than Mahama is having now. Mahama had been branded as this corrupt monster. His government was useless. He was incompetent, he was corrupt and everything. That was how he was branded. He was a younger man than Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Mahama was way younger. Akufo-Addo was
early 50s. In his first term.
Akufo-Addo was 72 years old.
In his first term.
Ghanaians defeated Mahama by 1 million votes. It has never happened before. And his parliamentary majority was knocked down. It was almost like nobody ever thought that Mahama was ever going to be even... In fact, the defeat that Mahama suffered, it was almost like Ghanaians have said, we have dealt with the opposition for you. Akufo-Addo, Twaso. instead of Mahama Tuaso, Akufo-Addo Tiaso actually.
Yeah.
What did Akufo-Addo do? He appointed 110 ministers.
At the point 121.
Like the Chelsea tea, you know Chelsea tea. There's this tea bag. It's not Chelsea. It's a red, yes. 110 tea bags, that's what it takes. So people were actually comparing the Chelsea tea box with Akufo-Addo. People didn't complain. People said, he said that he needed 110 people to
he even justified and said that he was in a hurry.
He said, I was a man in a hurry, and that he needed so many to fix the country. People say, yeah, continue. He went to read a speech at his inauguration. He found out to be plagiarized speech. People say,
that should have got somebody at the Jubilee House fired.
Exact.
Nobody cared. The people say, yeah, speech there is nothing. He has read speech and today, Mahama, go and sleep.
It's a citizen, it's not spectators.
He appointed senior minister, which is something that had not happened for the past, 16 years maybe. Okay, Kufuor had senior minister. So the whole of 8 years of NDC, there was no senior. He came, appointed senior minister. People and say, yeah, no problem.
Ambassador at large.
He appointed everything, so.
Plenipotentiary.
Look, people still said, go ahead and do your work. Because there was goodwill. And when you have the goodwill, but when the goodwill starts waning, and I know the NDC would know this, because they have gone through this before, and I have said that, and Gabi Asare-Shedaku describes Akufo-Addo, Mahama as one of the luckiest. And it is true. The man has gone through the rank, and he has been president, and he lost and went into the wilderness for 8 years, and he's back. If such a person is not experienced, then who else can be experienced? I have said that we as Ghanaians, whether NPP or NDC, we need to pray for John Mahama to succeed. If John Mahama fails, the whole democracy thing that we are doing is going to be questioned. At 2028, when people are there and they're like, we tried Mahama and Kosiaga, we went to bring Akufo-Addo, we were told that he's the best thing to have happened to us. 8 years, Otto, he has been thrown away, and one of his very, very, he was colleagues in Kufuor's government who served as his minister for chieftaincy, Asabi. Stephen Asamoah-Barton, former MP from Fansiman, I think, is quoted as saying that Akufo-Addo is looking for an opportunity to apologize to Ghanaians. It tells you how hopeless things have gotten. He says that Kufuor was more accessible and all of those things. And I've seen that report, very, very damning, published by my journal online. If Akufo-Addo has failed, and Ghanaians say, let's go back to Miyiri that day, and we go back for Mahama, and we do Sankofa. And if after 4 years, Mahama fails us, if you read Animal Farm by George Orwell, the last lines of that book, the animals, which are the commoners, had come to peep through the window, and they saw humans who are their enemies sitting at the table with pigs who are their leaders. And they were drinking beer, playing cards, the pigs were walking on 2 legs, wearing hats, and they were having a good time. And the last line in the book says, the animals from the window looked from man to pig and from pig to man. And clearly, they could not see the difference. That tells you that we're in a hopeless situation. And if in 2028 we get to the situation where Ghanaians will look from NPP to NDC and back to NPP, I'm like, no, I can't even see the difference. Then we are in a big problem.
Third force?
The third force has been useless for a period.
There are those who have said that often to appreciate the progress you've made, it's important to step back and assess what has happened in the past. So they also say that those who don't appreciate their history, are bound to repeat the mistakes of the past. I think that in criticizing how far democracy has come, I'm sure you'd also agree that we've made some significant gains. Yesterday, I was looking at a report which placed our democracy, particularly the conduct of our election, as the best in Africa, or one of the best in Africa. We toppled the likes of Seychelles, Botswana, and all of these countries that have like an emerging form of democracy where it's relatively even sometimes better. Do you get the sense that regardless of the negatives, we've still made significant progress in how far? See, just about a week ago on social media, Twitter, Nigerians were shocked, right, that we could go into an election. There's this huge defeat. The government of the day accepts it without any major, skirmish. Not long ago, they were also expressing shock about even hostels in the country. So I'm asking because I want you to just put it all together for us. Do you get the sense that despite the challenges of the past and in previous administrations, we've still made significant or some level of progress worth celebrating at the very least?
You see, I have traveled around a bit. I have gone to Europe, I've gone to the US, I've been to Asia. When I see things that I see there, I was in France last year. At the restaurant in the morning when I finished eating, a robot came to collect my plates. Like, wow, exciting, right?
Yeah.
I would want to see that in Ghana. But okay, let's not go to France, it's far. Let's come to Africa and compare. Like I told you, I was in Côte d'Ivoire. They have a double lane, a dual carriageway from Abidjan to Yamoussoukro. The distance is like from Accra to Kumasi. They have a dual carriageway. Beautiful, nice road. In the city center of Abidjan, they have a lot of water bodies. They use that water body wisely, so they have water taxes on it. In Accra, what do we do with the odor?
Throw things into
Is it too early to say we shit inside?
No.
Okay, if it's not too early in the morning, we shit inside. Our beautiful beaches, La. Me, I have my first attempt at rent. I went to La, I was going to rent. The landlady showed me nice house, beautiful terrazzo, everything. I'm like, I like it, beautiful. I think it was one single room, self-contained. I said, I'll take it. I said, I'll take it. So I said, Nima, I'll find a toilet here. I'm like, where's the toilet? He said, oh, Ben Sean, I be an which means the sea is just here.
The sea is closed.
And I was living at Nungwa at the time, and I come to Accra every morning. In the morning when I'm coming, I see a drove of people crossing the road towards the beach. And in the evening when I close, I'm going back home, I see people doing the same. I didn't know, said they were going there to do number 2. I did a documentary on that. And when I went, I saw people squatting at the beach. So in Ghana, we don't have parks where you can sit down and just chill. No. Imagine Jude, single man, found a girlfriend, he wants to go and sit at a park. There's no green park that you can sit at. Imagine if we had fixed the odor where there's water flowing nicely, so that you can have benches at the side. Sit down and feed pigeons. You will not die of stress.
I thought you told us the way.
We see that when we go to London, we see people feeding pigeons or doves, as they call them.
Was just as dirty as the Odo River, yet they've been able to clean it up.
So when you talk about the democracy, and I'm trying to say this so that I bring you to the democracy thing. You remember the campaign that Kufuor waged against Rawlings, and which was waged against Kufuor, and which was waged against Mills.
Sure, shooting
now, like road. When they say, oh, you have fixed road, is it road we eat?
No.
People will say, is it the democracy we will eat? We want jobs. We want a better condition. If robots come to serve, you want to be happy.
The democracy is the precursor for everything.
Massa, if I live at Amasaman and I have to go through that stress of a road construction, which has taken 1,000 years to finish, and yet someone can sit in a bullet train and get to work within whenever time they want.
Yeah, but would you rather sit in a train where your peace...
Why are people celebrating Rwanda? I have been to Rwanda. I went to Kigali in the year 2012.
The country around.
Kigali is run by a person who we call a dictator.
Yeah, but but don't forget.
Let me land with this.
Because you mentioned it.
No, let me just make, then you can come in. When I went to Kigali in 2012, that's how many years ago? 30, my math is not good, 13 years ago. There was free Wi-Fi in the capital. This was 13 years ago. I don't know what's happening today in Kigali. He's a dictator. He's a military man. Everybody's democracy. Yeah. Then you come to Ghana, because we have changed elections from Rawlings to Kufuor to Atamils to John Mahama. So we are comparing with mediocrity if we are comparing with West Africa and Africa.
I think mediocrity. Kigali, there's no you know, development going on. So maybe what you saw is just
we drove through. Rwanda is called the country of 1,000 hills.
Yeah.
We drove through, and I saw so many other beautiful developments across. And I'm saying that this was 13 years ago.
Yeah, you see, Sandra, your comment around maybe celebrating mediocrity, maybe a stretch too far, maybe, you know, because
actually, we are comparing Burkina and Guinea.
No, you see,
even the Burkina leader, when he came, didn't you see he got the loudest applause?
But you see, a lot of the, and I don't want to go to the Burkina Faso issue because we know that a lot of the time, what we see on social media doesn't necessarily reflect what's on the ground. CDD have done a whole study on the state of affairs in Burkina, and it's not really the case that the whole country is jubilating over his. Of course, there may be some success story, but a lot of the videos we see on social media might not necessarily be the case. But you've traveled a lot, so I'll give you that. But coming back to the Rwanda bit again, I'm just pushing back, trying to get your thoughts around the issues. I'm not even trying to be a democracy. But you see, the point is that we know the story of Rwanda. We know the genocide that took place. People have said that in the aftermath of it, Rwanda became the darling boy of the West. Everybody started coming in because they wanted to be seen as part of the next phase of Rwanda's success story. So they were donating, they were helping, they were supporting the economy, and we've seen that. But Sandra, there are also people who have said that, I've met a Rwandan, and I asked him, are you Hutu or you are Tutsi? Right? Is that what they call it?
Yes, and they'll tell you no, they are none, they are Rwanda.
He didn't answer me. He just quietly left.
Because they have been told not to talk about it.
He just quietly left. So this is a nation that have been scarred. So to create the picture that everything is well, let's not forget the past. Right? And I'm saying that we'll be lucky because our democracy have meant that even if there have been instances of some retribution or pain, it has not been on that scale. So yes, we want the road fixed. We want our cars, our transport system in a better condition. We want an improved education quality, which by the way, Nigerians are yearning for anyway. But let's also appreciate the fact that we've seen some level of development and we have the peace of mind, which in my opinion is the precursor for everything.
That precursor has been there since 92.
It's been there for 30 years.
That's since 92. I'm saying to you that I am not anti-democracy. I am happy we've done democracy. Hooray! But so then what next?
So we'll build on it.
We are not building. That's the thing.
So we'll build on it.
And I'm saying we are not building.
24-hour economy is coming.
Charlie, you see, so that's what I'm saying that, and that's what I'm saying that if Mahama fails,
then that will be the end of it.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the whole democracy thing will be questioned.
Yeah.
And I worry for the country because of what we saw at Mahama's inauguration.
But I feel
where the guy who got the loudest applause
was a dictator.
Was a soldier
who came through the barrel of the gun.
Who had a sidearm on him.
Yeah. But I still think it's not necessarily a good example because of other things.
I'm not the one who clapped though. The people clapped.
Yeah, you know.
And there are young people who came.
Yeah, I get your point very well. I mean, the kind of acclaim he seems to have is quite telling on the democracy being practiced.
You know why? Because people are tired of the whole system we are running.
Yeah, but there are people who are also very frustrated.
You know, we have Ayalolo buses that we park at Adenta. They are just sitting there doing nothing.
Destroyed?
Well, they've been there for 100 years.
Look, 100 years.
Forgive me my use of that, but I'm saying that I went to cover Chenche. About you saying, what's his name?
Member of Parliament for
Ablekuma South. Yeah. When he was Accra Mayor, Atamils was president. Graphic Road, the overhead you see there, they cut the sword for that thing to happen. They called it BRT, Bus Rapid Transit. And they said that you will sit in Kaswa in a bus, speed lane, to Accra in the morning. I'm like, yay. Because I have gone to Stockholm in Sweden, and when you sit in the train, you arrive. So I was happy.
Yeah.
Then they said, we are going to do that.
Yeah.
As we speak.
Yeah.
If you make a mistake and sit in Ayalolo, it's a beautiful bus. You have charger and everything.
Yeah.
But you day in traffic, it's better to sit in church or who will use corner and bring you to Accra.
I like where this conversation is going. And viewers, we are just trying to pick a sense of the state of affairs of this country. We love the country dearly. We want the country to work. Reasons why we are having what you describe as some of these very difficult conversations. But it's nonetheless very important. We are still covering the NPP National Delegates Conference. The team coming your way today, myself, and Osafo Umaru Sanda Ahmad, USA, join us in studio to deliberate on some of the issues. We'll be covering it all through the day, and we'll be on the field, and she'll also be in studio delving into the issues, bringing you the facts and all the latest happenings. Myself, I'll also be here later on to also continue the conversation right from our studios here in Channel One. Hansen Ajema, my colleague in the Channel One newsroom, is currently stationed at the NPP conference to bring us the latest updates as things unfold. Good morning, Hansen. Hello, Hansen.
Good morning.
Great. I can see you're in high spirits already. What's the mood like? What's the mood like from the University of Ghana Sports Stadium?
Well, currently a host of party executives and party personalities are beginning to troop into the University of Ghana Sports Stadium, where the National Delegates Conference is expected to happen. And so there are three major entry points here at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. So there's one that has been left for dignitaries, i.e. national executive officers, regional chairman, regional chairman, members of the planning committee, members of the amendments committee, MPs, former MPs, as well as the members of the diplomatic corps who will be entering through this particular gate that I'm standing in front. There's another gate meant for delegates who are coming in from the southern sector, and another gate coming in from the northern sector. As we've already showcased, there won't be any much activity within the stadium grounds itself, except for a podium that has been mounted, for which you would hear speeches from there, or where the person who is supposed to coordinate the adoption of the motions will make that coordination. But essentially, all delegates will have been designated to stands within the stadium where they are supposed to be seated. And we are told, and we've seen that those seating arrangements have been made according to region. And so you would see Greater Accra delegates seated in a particular area, Ashanti, Northern, Western, Western North, across all 16 regions. Currently, the Ghana Police Service, of course, they are situated here, ensuring that there's strict adherence to the accreditation. And so when persons come in, the first thing that they inquire is for you to indicate your accreditation and what shows that you have to be here, what shows that you have the mandate to be here at the conference grounds. We know that over 8,000 persons are expected to make their way to the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. Over 6,000 of these are delegates. However, some of the other delegates are given additional accreditation, and so that has pushed the number to over 8,000. Jude, the other thing that you observe also is that in strict compliance of the party's rules, you've not seen any of the candidates here who are campaigning, or their members who are campaigning, i.e. by wearing the shirts of a particular candidate or putting up the posters of a particular candidate. Of course, it's only Dr. Baumier's picture that we've seen in the pull-up banners that have been stationed, but of course, because of his position as a former vice president. But you can see short banners of Professor Edubuahen, of Stephen Ayinsu's team, of Justin Frimpong Kodia, the General Secretary of the NPP, Dr. J.B. Dankwa, Kofi Abrefabuzia, as well as Dombo, all of these indicating to the NPP that it honors its heroes, it honors its founders and people who've made the NPP what the NPP is today. The agenda today mainly is to ensure that the party adopts the 56 motions that have been carefully selected by the Frank Davis Amendments Committee. These motions range from inclusion of the party's name, symbols, and motto, to scrapping of the delegate system, to expansion of the elective officers and appointed officers when it comes to the party structure at various levels, as well as the expansion of the persons who are able to cast their ballot as far as the NPP's presidential primaries as well as parliamentary primaries is concerned. And so we'll take you around to observe really what is happening. So you can see the police is being helped by the internal security of the NPP. And as I indicated, these are pull-up banners with pictures of key personalities of the NPP. A lot of the delegates are yet to arrive here at the sports stadium. We've seen some vehicles approaching. It could be that one of them, it should be one of the delegates. But of course, the Ghana Police Service are here. And as you can see, this is precisely what they do always. They question the persons who arrive. They check their accreditation to see that indeed these are persons who are accredited to be here at the NPP National Delegates Conference. One other important thing that I've noticed is that unlike previous exercises where you have posters that are placed at vantage points that tend to deface the the grounds, you are not seeing anything like this. I think in your shot is the Honorable Obi Amwa. His vehicle has just pulled up here. Let's try and see if we can get to speak to him. He has just arrived here at the NPP conference grounds. He is a former member of Parliament, a leading member of the New Patriotic Party. So, a lot of the delegates are yet to make their way here to the MPP. Let's try and speak to him. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
I mean, you are out of Parliament, but this is the first time the party is meeting in large numbers. What does it mean for you?
Well, it still shows that the party is very strong and so very organized, and we are complying with our constitution. We should have a conference, so that's why we are here.
I mean, you've been at such conferences before. When it comes to decision making, to the best of your knowledge, how is it going to be? We are told 56 motions.
Well, as you might have heard, proposals were invited, and about 300 proposals were submitted. And by the provisions of the Constitution, the General Secretary had to circulate these proposals. But some of them are similar. So what you do is to put them into motions. So the 300 proposals have been reduced to, just like you said, 56 motions. So here we'll take every motion. Then there will be a seconder, and then we'll then vote on it. Then we move on.
How is the voting done?
Well, I had the privilege of being the acting legal committee chairman in 2009 when we did a massive expansion. We went by voice vote. About 3,000 people here. If we were going to do head count, then we will not leave here. It will take us a week. So
yeah, former member of parliament, immediate past former member of parliament. Is there a way to object to? I mean, if the person chairing says, "I hear the yeah," and someone believes that it's rather no, is there a practice of being able to object?
well, usually in parliament, it's easy to do that because you may even call for head count. I mean, you go by the rules. You may call for head count. You will stand up for us to be counted, or you may call for division. But this is not parliament. This is a party conference. And we believe that what has been happening, this is not the first time we are doing this. Apart from 2009, subsequently we've done some of these amendments. So even if you look at the proposals, I don't think there's anything controversial.
What do you say to those who think that, I mean, without a process to object to what really the decision is, it's just a stamp, really rubber stamp of
So that's what I'm saying, that in the first place, if there's a motion and somebody has a counter motion, you'll be allowed to speak. At the end of the day, then the vote will be put. And if... Yes.
Before you take leave of us, I mean, the party is supposed to be united. We've heard from former President before who said he has been sidelined. And he had actually written to the party asking for this event to be postponed. The party could not accede to that because of logistical or whatever reason that may have been. What do you make of that? And former President Kufuor is also not going to be here. He has traveled. The two gentlemen who have led the party before to the presidency are all not going to be here. Is the party really united?
Well, it's unfortunate, but it appears their calendar did not run in sync with our calendar. Ideally, we could have sat down with them to make sure that if July is not suitable, then we could push it forward. And for President Kufuor, he doesn't have any issue. He said we can go ahead. He wished he would have been here, but for other reasons he cannot be here. For President Kufuor, he asked for end of August, that he'll be back in town, for us to then decide a date. We all sat down, we looked at how far we had gone. Just this Monday, we considered it, and between Monday and now, a lot had gone in. So we thought it would be prudent to go back to him and discuss. Even though he's out of town, we were ready to send a delegation to him to discuss that this is a decision we've taken, not out of any disrespect, but for the fact that indeed we had gone very far when this issue came up. And because of him, an emergency National Council meeting was called. And it was decided amicably, we agreed that this is the way forward. So that's why we are still here.
Right.
Thank you very much. So that is the Honorable Obi Amwa, a former member of parliament. He's making his way out, and I mean, it's just some minutes after 9, and more of the delegates are beginning to make their way here to the conference ground. And as and when we are able to get an opportunity with them, we'll try and see